Hello, welcome back to Post Viral, Time to Heal with Lindsay and Stu, as we continue our conversation on the importance of rest and sleep when healing from chronic fatigue conditions. Everything we discuss is just the views of Lindsay and myself. We hope you find it helpful, but just remember it is not medical advice. Let's dive back into part 2 on sleep. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome to Post Viral.
Hi everyone. Hi Lindsay.
Hi Stu. How are you?
Yeah, I'm a bit sleepy, a bit fatigued today, but I've had a nice day. How about you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. The last few weeks have been funny because we launched our podcast.
Yeah, woo.
So, and I was also in Victoria visiting family. So it's been a lot for my brain, especially with us starting up like the social media stuff with our Instagram. I got to be really cognizant of how much time I spend doing social media because it takes a lot out of my poor brain. So.
Yeah, 100% the same. Got to get those boundaries, work out what works and what doesn't. But it's super exciting and it's been so overwhelming and lovely really to hear from people and get your feedback and what people think. So
yeah, a lot of really nice responses. We really appreciate that.
You never know with these kind of things where like you're obviously working on it in the background and then you release it, your baby, as you said before.
Yeah.
And you're like, how is this going to land? So yeah, it's been very nice and reassuring.
Yeah, totally. And I did a little thing on the Instagram about, I did a little pencil crayon drawing.
Oh, your beautiful butterfly.
Yeah, I did a pencil crayon of the butterfly I'm becoming. So if anybody listening, needs a relaxing activity, please consider like sending us the butterfly that you're working on becoming, because we would love to see it. You could draw it, paint it, even if you just wanted to like outline a butterfly and put words in it, that could be cool. Yeah, and I set up an email account. So if you don't have Instagram, no problem. You can email it to us at postviralpodcast@gmail.com. So yeah, hopefully we get some because we'd love to see that. But no pressure. I know I've definitely been in those situations where I'm like, oh, I was going to do that. Sorry. But yeah, no pressure. We're not here to be relaxing.
I think because one of my sisters, Heather, is so good at artwork, I was kind of like, oh, artwork's not really my thing or it's not for me. But then with the pandemic and also becoming unwell, so having a bit more free time to fill, I've loved getting into watercolors and painting, and it's quite satisfying seeing yourself improve. Like
You're so
a very
good.
big novice.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was a real novice to begin with. But yeah, even when I'm on kind of rough days, I find it very relaxing, completely takes my mind off myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe you'll surprise yourself.
Yeah, totally. And I was thinking too, if you don't want to do a butterfly or you want to do something else too, you could send us your version of a rest bear too. Yourself resting as a bear. We'd love to see your bears if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel about sleep?
Sleep. Yes. So funnily, I think since we last spoke, rest-wise, I've been I just found like being quite distracted. I think with the social media side and launching, it's just made me a bit more like, oh, I could do this, or things popping into your mind. And so I found rest harder. But interestingly, my sleep, I think, has gotten better. I've been way more relaxed when I wake up in the night. That it's okay, if I fall back to sleep, I fall back to sleep. And actually, I've managed to sleep through the night a bit more since. So it's funny, they've flipped. How about you?
Yeah, well, I think that's big, that like if you wake up, it's okay. Because I still wake up a lot in the night, but I have been sleeping pretty well, I'd say. It's just so important for me not to like look at screens a few hours before bed. It just makes such a difference for my brain. And yeah, with the podcast stuff, it's a lot for my brain. But yeah, as long as I don't do it near bedtime, I agree. I slept pretty well when I was visiting family, which is good. And
that's massive. That's great that
this week's.
actually when you change your routine and you were visiting family, you still managed to sleep through. Because I find messing up with my routine or screens in the evening or doing a bit more, my sleep really suffers and I can't get to sleep.
Yeah.
I heard once that the hours before midnight you sleep are worth 2 times the hours after. And I don't
I
know if
heard that
that's
too.
oh, cool. So I don't know where it's from or if it's scientifically true, but I definitely feel in myself when I can't get to sleep till later, I feel it a lot the next day.
Yeah, that's totally true. I try to go to bed at like 8, 9. I'm such an old lady.
But yeah, what animal factoids and inspiration have we got from you today, Lindsay?
Well, so originally we were going to have rest and sleep as one episode. So I didn't have a animal picked out for sleep. And then I was thinking what animal would be perfect, but it's kind of an interesting question because every animal sleeps according to whatever amount of sleep it needs, you know? There's no like animal that would represent a good sleep. Definitely, there's a huge difference between animals in zoos and wild animals. Say a sloth, for example, in the wild, it probably only sleeps like 14 hours a day, they say, but in zoos, it's like over 20 hours.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they just don't have anything they have to do. They don't have to work to get their food. And
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought it
yeah.
would be the other way where they're stressed in captivity and so they sleep less, but that's interesting. Yeah, because
No, they sleep way more. They're bored as heck.
Oh.
But anyways, I was thinking I would just give you some little trivia questions about animals. Who sleeps the most and who sleeps the least?
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
who do you think in the animal world sleeps the most hours a day?
Um, so I would think it's something like the sloth, or I think I actually know this. Is it the koala?
Kind of.
Okay.
It's a trick question.
Oh, okay, right.
I did. So mean of me. Yes, I would say you're right in that in captivity, koalas sleep like 22 hours a day.
Right, okay.
Which is,
Yeah, I think I've seen that before. Okay.
yeah, so you are right. In the wild, yeah, again, they think only like 14 maybe.
Oh, okay.
But then there's animals that like sleep for years at a time. Like they found that snails can sleep up to 3 years if they don't have the moisture they
No
need.
way. Wow.
Just like go to sleep.
How long do
Yeah.
they even live for?
I don't know, but they apparently can
It was
sleep a long
big. Yeah.
time. That's a good question.
Yeah.
How long can a snail live? Cicadas, do you know what a cicada is?
No.
It's like this bug that makes that like chirping
Oh,
noise.
yeah. When you're on holiday somewhere.
Yeah, you hear that like beep, 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 beep. So they go underground for 17 years. They only come out every 17 years. And
Wow.
we don't know what they do underground. Do they sleep? Who knows? So yeah, there's a lot of mystery around animal sleep. One study showed that the bullfrog doesn't sleep at all.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's a hard question.
Okay.
It's actually kind of mean. So which animal do you think sleeps the least?
So is this a trick question too? Because sharks, don't they switch off half their brain because they can't stop moving? Or maybe it's dolphins or something where like half their brain is awake and then the other half. So they're always awake but always asleep.
Yeah, I think that fishes like sharks, and I think you're right, but I think they still have naps. Whenever they get a chance, they shut it all off. But you are in the right direction there because it's migrating birds
Oh
actually,
yeah.
and they have the two hemisphere brains where while they're flying, they can shut off one side and sleep with one side while they still fly. They found that this one kind of bird, the alpine swift, can go 200 days straight flying
Wow.
without stop. So some part of their brain is sleeping, but the other part is still going.
That's amazing.
But if we're talking about mammals, What mammal do you think sleeps the least?
Oh, the least. Maybe like an elephant or a giraffe. I feel like I've heard that. Or is it, do cows like something about they can't actually get back up when they've fallen down? So like, how do they sleep?
No, you're like weirdly good at this.
Oh yeah.
The answer,
I promise
the
I haven't
answer
been.
is elephants.
Oh really?
Elephants.
Oh,
Yeah, 1 to 3
I'm just on my
hours.
phone, like typing it in.
Yeah, you're just cheating. Why? Yeah, they said 1 to 3 hours a night elephants sleep in the wild.
No way.
They really don't sleep very much. They're
That's
always,
crazy because I mean, nothing's going
mm,
to attack an elephant. So you'd think they could.
yeah, and they're so big, like, and their brains are so big. I mean, size
Yeah.
doesn't equate necessarily to intelligence, but it is really interesting. You'd think they'd need a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
Because they have good memories, right?
Yeah. Very true.
I don't know why,
Oh.
but anyway, sorry I don't have a specific animal for you, but I'm going to give you that you got koalas and elephants.
Nice. What would you say we can? Well, I suppose what you're saying at the beginning in terms of like what we can take from the animal world, listening to your body and learning.
Yeah, what's natural to you, really
Yeah.
because like we know that different people need a different amount of sleep. Like for me, I do best on 9 or 10 hours,
Hmm.
whereas some people are fine on like 5 or 6 hours.
Mm.
And there really does seem to be a person to person difference on how many hours people need.
Yeah. And I think we'll probably talk about best practice in terms of what's worked for us and what we've heard from trusted sources in general. So things like circadian rhythm. But there are people who are night owls and they can't sleep until, sometimes into the early hours, but it works for them.
Yeah.
So we covered quite a lot of ground on rest last time. Shall we talk about sleep?
The innocuous sleep. The one thing that is good to understand with CFS and these sensitivity illnesses where our autonomic nervous system is on high alert is that cortisol is being released at the inappropriate times and often with blood sugar as well, I believe. So I think that probably explains the main reason why, at least for me, it's like I can sleep pretty well. Some people have a lot of trouble getting to sleep. That's not my problem. For me, I'm wide awake usually if I don't do the following things we're going to talk about for about 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the night, and then I can sleep again. I think that's pretty common with CFS. But yeah, it has to do with the weird times that our cortisol is peaking.
Yeah. How I understand it, I mean, this could be completely wrong, but it helps me make sense of feeling wired and tired. And when I explain to friends as well. So in London, for instance, had roughly 3 hours sleep a night. I could get to sleep okay, but then I'd wake up in the middle of the night and couldn't get back to sleep. And my heart rate was so much higher than its usual resting heart rate. And how I understand it is I have a set amount of energy, and that's lower than it should be if I were healthy because of my chronic fatigue. If I spend all of that, the way my body compensates is that the adrenal system just pumps adrenaline and cortisol into my body to help the energy cycle process keep going. We can talk about mitochondrial ATP and ADP, and these are kind of the energy cells in our body that we should be kind of recycling ATP all the time so that our energy is consistent. But if we are overdoing it and burning too much, then we create ADP, which cannot be recycled. And so it's very unsustainable. So my understanding is that I use all the ATP up, the hormonal system goes a bit crazy. And as you say, getting kind of cortisol bursts at the wrong time of the day, adrenaline bursts to keep the ADP going. But then ultimately I am just feeling wired and tired. If you have this illness, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that's why often I find that I'll actually feel okay-ish the next day if I've overdone it, because I've still got this kind of false economy of energy going on in my body. And then when I use up all of the ADP as well as the ATP that's gone, and my
adrenal system tries to kind of recorrect itself. And then like, oh my goodness, I am dead. Like, I'm
That's
so
when you
tired.
crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens to me too. That delayed effect is such a mind F. Like mind, I don't know, I should, because you the next day you're like, oh, actually that was fine, I didn't overdo it, but then the day after that
We have so many messages, Lindsay and I, to each other where we're like, oh, it's great, I feel fine. And then we don't hear from each other the next day. It's like, oh,
yeah. And sometimes you can even just get a sense that he's speaking extra fast or something, and you're like, I think he's wired.
Have I got the WhatsApp on 1.5 times?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it kind of emphasizes how important sleep is, because good sleep means more ATP cells, is what the way I understand it. The interesting thing about sleep, as Stu knows, I have very, very vivid dreams. He's had to listen to so many described. And I think that's what happens when you're in REM, a rapid eye movement. I think I'm very good at getting into that. But the 4 stages that like build up to REM are actually the ones where your energy production and your cell repair is happening. And I'm not very good at those stages. I think my body goes straight into REM, and then sometimes I wake up like right out of a dream. So the build up and the takedown for me are like the really hard part to get right.
I actually thought that deep sleep, the delta brainwaves, that is the deepest part of sleep, and theta REM is the one above it.
Maybe.
But I rely on my Fitbit all the time to tell me how well I've slept. And when I've overdone it, then the deep sleep, the delta, is the part which really seems to suffer, and I have a lot less. But that's what you need for the cell repair, the healing state to get to. So yeah, that kind of makes sense what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, because when I'm dreaming, my dreams are so elaborate. My brain is clearly working very hard. So I'm very aware that I'm not recharging. I wake up like tired from my dreams.
Wow, yeah.
And yeah, that's like so sad.
Yeah. I know we're going to talk about tips for sleep. I'm excited to play your game of does it help or not? You know, all these different hacks that you can have for sleep. Mm-hmm. But actually, the biggest hack for me is the quality of your sleep reflects the quality of your day. So if I've overdone it in the day, my sleep will suffer.
Yeah.
And equally, I actually find, so I'm really interested in dreams, but I do believe that the quality of your dreaming, where I'm having dreams of feeling like, if I'm feeling chased or feeling uncertain or overexcited in some way, that affects the quality of my sleep. And I feel like, from what I've read so far at least, is that your dreams, well, it's your subconscious and unconscious coming up. So it's unresolved things from your day to day, or even kind of longer term traumas or whatever that have gone on. So what happens in your day, you can actually kind of work through some of that stuff of day-to-day anxieties and worries and longer term traumas too. That will impact the quality of your dreams, and that will impact the quality of your sleep overall.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I am grateful for my dreams, because they really tell me what I'm stressing about. Whether it's the exact thing I'm dreaming about or not, that's not always the same, but the emotion I'm feeling, I always search for what is that emotion I'm feeling in my dream. And if it's like guilt or stress or fear, then I like journal about all the things that are causing those emotions to really get it out. And then my dreams stop being about that. It's really interesting.
And can I just say, Lindsay's, I mean, your relationship with your dreams is pretty incredible. I struggle to remember my dreams within 5 minutes of waking up. Lindsay has like a big life question. Asks herself before she goes to sleep, okay, dreams, like, can you help me make sense of what I should do here or what this means? And then we'll have sometimes quite an abstract dream, but be able to pinpoint the exact, as you say, the emotion or the interpretation. And then the next day be like, oh, I've worked out that this is what I need to do. And then ultimately it does often work out for the best. So it's a gift you have superpowers.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to like people to think I'm too crazy woo-woo, but yeah, I've definitely, you can call it intuition if you don't want to go that deep, but I ask a question often before bed, and it'll often get answered in my dreams. So
it's working. Yeah.
I don't know. It might actually be partly the medications I'm on too, because I'm still on LDN, low dose naltrexone, and Cymbalta, low dose of antidepressants, which I wish I wasn't on them, but maybe they're making my dreams so vivid all the time. But I love my dreams. Yeah, they really are a big part of my life. My life's pretty boring otherwise, so it makes it exciting. It's a little bit, again, I use the word like mind F, because with this illness, it's so hard sometimes, because if you don't exercise enough or get enough stimulation in the day, you also can sleep badly.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you do too much, then you can sleep badly. So finding that balance can be so frustrating sometimes, because yeah, I know for a lot of people who are bedbound, they sleep terribly because they're in bed all day. And the recommendation usually is to only use your bed for sleep and sex, which I understand is very hard for some individuals who are bedbound. But I did find when I started to do that more, like I used to live in like a bachelor pad, so my bed was like the center of my room, so I was always in it. Now that I have a separate bedroom and I can stay out of it during the day, I think it's better for my sleep at night.
Oh, yeah. During the pandemic, I was in my room working at the time while I was unwell, still working, sleeping. And I was even trying to like push myself to do exercise in there too. So I was there for like probably about 18 hours a day, or actually maybe not that much, but it wasn't very fun, and it wasn't conducive to good rest either.
Yeah. And really, like, the worst thing you can do when you're, just like we were talking about resting, when you're trying to sleep and you can't sleep, the worst thing you can do is be stressed. It's a natural reaction, of course, so we're not blaming you. Obviously, we've been there too. But if you can tell yourself, it's okay. If I don't fall back asleep, I don't fall back asleep. It's not really the biggest deal. Actually, I've read that body scanning is more restful than sleep. So I often go for body scan as much as I can. And I like to convince myself that even if I don't fall back asleep, at least I'm resting, doing a body scan. And often I find that once I say to myself, fine, body, if you don't want to go back to sleep, you don't have to, then I fall asleep.
I wish I could say I was good at the whole like talking myself down, self-talk, and rationalizing myself out of that anxiety spiral, especially if I know I have like a big event the next day. So if it's like a wedding that I have to go to, or a big social event or work thing, actually what I find the most helpful for me are sleep stories. So the calm ones are really nice. I know you're actually a calm member, Lindsay, aren't you? I just cheapskate listen to the free YouTube ones, which I can probably do off by heart now because I've listened to them so much. But that just really helps me. I don't think it's good to look at screens if you can. And I also think it's better to have your phone out of your room if you can too. But if you're really like, if it's 2 a.m. and you've been awake for hours and hours, it is helpful to like take your mind off your inner thoughts and to just listen to a calming story, focus on something else. I find even if it doesn't send me to sleep, as you say, Lindsay, it just takes your mind off the stress and puts you into a more relaxing, calming state.
Yeah. So if you want to we do our top 3 tips for sleep. One for you would be calm.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think the top 3 things I find helpful for sleep, definitely the first one is what happens in the day reflects at night. It's something you just learn when you tune into your body more, but not doing so little that you do have too much energy to sleep, not doing too much that you are then wired but tired. But I think that's definitely the top one for me. And then if you are struggling to sleep, I find the sleep stories are really helpful. And then the last one I think is just nighttime routine. So I will, from 8:30, start winding down. I lie down with my legs raised because that's supposed to help your adrenal system relax, having your legs raised. And I put my head on these books and I do a bit of a meditation, 10-15 minutes, and then I'll do some journaling. So I won't be looking at screens from like 8 o'clock or 8:30 onwards, and then do a bit of reading in bed, and then from 9:30, 10 be kind of lights out. And if I stray from that, then I do find that my sleep is really upset at different times. But if I'm kind of consistent with that, as boring as it can be, and sometimes it's not feasible depending on what's going on in my life, but they're the things that help the most, probably along with cutting out caffeine too. Actually, that's been a big one. How about you, Lindsay?
Yeah, definitely. Like routine is so key for me. Really 3 hours without screens before bed. It's so hard to learn to fill that time like by yourself, but meditating, journaling, reading, body scanning, these are all things I do. A bath with Epsom salts, really relaxing activities to really let your mind like slow down. I find it's very important for my head to be cool and my body to be warm. So I always sleep with my window a little bit open. Definitely getting as much sun as I can during the day and as quickly as I can in the morning. They say it's really important, like I said, about the blue light, to get sun in the morning. It wakes up your brain, and I think that sets your circadian rhythm. I think that's how it works. And then, if I can't sleep, a few of the tricks I've taught Stu is a stream of consciousness storytelling. So you're literally just making up words to your story as it's coming to your brain. So like, the bear walked in the forest with his friend squirrel. It just like, as it's coming to your brain, visualize it. And somehow doing that, like, I don't know, but it puts me to sleep. Give it a try and just keep going until you fall asleep. And then just one last one is, if you've really been there like for an hour or something and you can't sleep, a popular recommendation is to get up, go to the bathroom, look out the window at the stars for a few minutes. Don't do anything like too activating. Just kind of walk around, give yourself a stretch, and then get back into bed. And I often fall asleep right after I get back into bed. Have a gulp of water.
And this is where I think it's just like working out what works for you, because I find that I do a lot better if I eat earlier and then I don't drink anything like any water or anything after 7:30, 8, or otherwise I'll be up in the night to go to the bathroom. Whereas I know other people that do quite well just having a bit of water and also eating quite late, because it then evens out their blood sugar levels, because otherwise they'll have a real dip in their blood sugar, and so they'll need to wake up, and their body will just wake them up because they're hungry. So I think it's worth playing around with what works from a diet perspective, and maybe hydration as well for you.
Okay, so let's do a little, have you tried it, have you not?
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it.
So yes, you've tried it. Thumbs up, it works well. Thumbs down, it doesn't work for you. It might work for some people, so don't say that these are all going to be things that people use in general. Okay.
Should I hit you with cutting caffeine out? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Haven't tried.
Definitely thumbs up for me.
Yeah, same. Yeah, thumbs up, definitely.
Electric blanket.
I haven't tried, despite your advertising.
Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Do you don't have it? You have it rest in the day, but would you do it to sleep with?
I do it right before bed too, not while I'm sleeping. No.
Right. Okay. CBD oil. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs down. I've never found a huge difference.
I think placebo effect. I definitely felt sometimes when I couldn't sleep, I would try it. But then, I think with more time, doesn't seem to have helped for me, which is sad, because I know quite a few people that it's like really revolutionized their world, not just for sleep, but for like pain and things like that as well.
No, I know. It's an individual thing, it seems like. What about eye mask, earplugs?
I used to live actually opposite a nightclub in Brixton, which we didn't realize, and we had single glazed windows. So I literally had to do that like every night, and it definitely did help then. And I'm really fortunate now that I live in the country, and it's so pitch black anyway, so I don't really need them now, but they definitely help if you are in a light or sound junk area. Thumbs up. How about you?
Yeah, and I'm like such a sensitive sleeper. Definitely thumbs up for me. Like any noise or any light will wake me up. So I'm definitely a thumbs up for those guys.
Definitely. Is it my turn? What about mouth taping? Something you suggested to me. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, I love mouth taping. Thumbs up.
And do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah, of course. Are you doing it still?
I've actually stopped I was doing it for like 6 months. I find it probably helps more with because I get sinusitis and things. I don't really think it impacts how I feel the next day or my sleep, but maybe it helps when I do it with my nose airways.
Yeah, no, for me it helps a lot. If you look up mouth taping, and it's not putting a piece of tape over your entire mouth, but just the pursed part in the middle, taping your mouth closed there. So like if you had to breathe, you could. The first time I tried it, I did it wrong. I did my whole mouth, and I like had a dream I was like suffocating underwater. But
traumatizing.
Yeah, it was. But you get more oxygen to your brain when you breathe through your nose. And as a mouth breather, you can breathe quite shallowly, like into your lungs and up. Like you don't go very deep. It's just like, but I feel like when I don't do it, I wake up with such a foggy head. And since I've been doing it, I find a lot less brain fog. So for me, it really increases the oxygen to my brain.
Yeah. Breathe with James. He always talks about how breathing in through your nose relaxes your body, whereas from your mouth, it like stimulates your body as well. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I recommend it. And if you haven't gotten tested for sleep apnea, I do suggest that.
Yeah, if you can.
Okay, sorry, my turn. Peppermint oil behind the ears.
I have used clove oil and what's the other one? Lavender oil. And I put lavender oil on my pillow as well. I'm probably going to say thumbs down. Like, it's nice, but I don't think it actually helped me. How about you?
Yeah, I think thumbs up. I think it does help. I've been doing the peppermint oil behind my ears, but I specifically think I have issues with getting oxygen to my brain. So it helps a bit with inflammation. So it's a thumbs up for me. I find I've been waking up a little bit better.
Oh, that's good. Nice.
But yeah.
Okay, next one, blue blocking glasses. Have you tried them?
That's one that I should do, that I don't. I have no excuse. I do have them and I should use them. But do you use them only looking at screens or when you're reading and stuff too?
I actually don't have my own pair. I've used some friends before, but I didn't find that it had enough impact. I actually find glasses really hard to wear now for like giving me more severe brain fog. So I tend to just go with contact lenses too. But I think, personal preference really.
Yeah. What about magnesium biglycinate? Do you take magnesium?
I did. And I have been suggested to take it again by my nutritionist. But yeah, and I had Epsom baths as well. And I did glycinate, taurate, and the other one, carbonate maybe, to get different types. Yeah. Citrate, that's it.
That's the one that helps with pain.
I don't know. I'm lucky that I don't really have that much joint pain. So maybe if you have that, how about for you?
Yeah, it's very helpful for me. I take magnesium biglycinate before bed every night, and I do Epsom salt baths every few days. It really helps me sleep. Not just with pain. I think it just helps in general with sleep.
Oh, nice. Oh, raised bed. Have you done that? As in raising where your head goes?
I did for a little while. I raised the front of my bed, but I found I wasn't sleeping as well. So I'm going to thumbs down for me. Did you try it?
Yeah, I still have it actually. And I don't think it does anything. I also read something from Steve Cabral, who's pretty good on chronic fatigue conditions. I think he's American-based naturopath, but he was talking about the potential dangers of raising your bed as well. For like the circulation to your legs, there's, I suppose, things to be careful with there. So I should probably lower my bed actually.
I do sleep with a pillow under my feet. I sleep with my feet raised.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I've been doing that for like 3 or 4 years now, and it helps a lot.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I have a bunch of things that I know have helped other people that I haven't tried. I'll just say some for you, and you can tell me if you tried them. GABA. Have you ever tried GABA?
No.
Melatonin?
No, I mean, to be honest, sleep isn't, I'm really lucky that sleep hasn't been an issue enough for me to warrant, trying like Valerian root and all these melatonin, all these things.
Yeah, I was just going to say Valerian root. These are definitely things to consider if you're having a lot of issues with sleep. 5-HTP, L-theanine. There's a bunch of them, obviously. We have a friend who struggled for many years with sleep, and for him, like, the key to his recovery, as he describes it, was starting on mirtazapine, which is a kind of antidepressant, but they use it for sleep issues, and it's completely, changed his life in terms of being able to recover. A huge caveat on recommending antidepressants. They're so hard to get off of, but it is something to consider if you're really struggling. I think that's pretty much it.
Actually, I just remembered when you were talking about like supplements and things, Sasha Gormanak, I can't remember her program, but it's a whole sleep program that she's a big expert on that you can, I think it costs money to actually enroll and have support from her, but if it's a really big issue for you. And she talks about the value of vitamin D, getting your vitamin D to an optimum level. So actually a lot of people over supplement and it goes too high. You want it to be in the kind of 80 range, I think. And B vitamins as like a real way to build up your gut health. I think the relationship between B vitamins and D, I'll put it into the show notes. I'll try and remember the name of her program, but I know it's well renowned.
Good. Yeah. So I think we're ready now for a beautiful poem by Stuart. I'm so excited to hear this one because I heard a rough version, but I can't wait to hear this sleep poem that you wrote.
No, thank you. Yeah, this is a bit abstract, a little bit random, but yeah, hopefully you like it. It's called The Koala is Sleeping. Before the amber hours, when silence is soft and darkness so dark it knows not itself, choices are voices like driftwood they pass. I can't seem to tire, so sit up instead. And somewhere, the koala is sleeping. His queer tail rises. Twitching irises become dilated drops like stones cut deep right down to their quick. Perfectly unsatisfying obsidian enamel, a half-moon frown, plays on his lips, and his dreams throb blue. There, it's Sunday serene amongst lush forest pines. Between his claws he takes delight, ambling aimless, clambering free. He plays with the leaves that welcome the wind. A pause. He yawns. And I just watch as he swings past a wallaby carrying her young, amidst the night owls harassing the shade, as streaking wombats entangle the branches, dance in the vines with tequila and rum, and petals and ferns slowly undress, courting the thought of spending the night. The disco moon throws a shard of ice, chilling the jazz and cooling the limes, while furry fingers snap cool beats and snoozing bassists all take their seats. As time winds him backwards, the koala conducts the jungle's rhythm of sleepy stardust. He's free falling through sheets. And from time to time, I try to keep pace, capture that rhythm he creates. Too much, snoring so much. Now snugly it sits with my warmest of thoughts. See, I'm jealous of the journey he takes every night, envy the secrets he's learned to prize from the roots of this earth, the treasures he's learnt in the land of the slumber where the clocks don't strike. So cerebral reserve risks jungles unheard of. Holding my breath, I begin the descent. Swinging through trees to keep pace with the dreamy, I learn to embrace what the daytime forgot. The koala stops, the jungle rocks. He catches his breath, ponders my steps. Eyelids flicker as curtains are drawn. Sunshine on skin strikes a wombat dumb, but then collapse. And we're dreaming. It's hard to share evenings with one so wistful. Perhaps next time I'll sleep by myself. And I mean that, but not really. Ta-da!
Yay! Oh, I loved that.
Oh, yeah?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hadn't heard that one yet at all. That's so cool. And so many
I'm
of
glad.
the animals that I hope to see in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved picturing that. That was really, really like vivid in my mind. Well done.
Oh, I'm pleased. Yeah. The world of the dream and of the koala. So yeah, I did have a bit of a sneak peek on the koala fact.
Oh, yeah, so good. You didn't talk about how they all get chlamydia, though.
Talk about that in our infections episode.
Sorry to end that on a weird note. Yeah. Cool. Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Well done. I really liked that.
Thank you very much.
Great. Well, bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And we'll be back next time talking about pacing and movement. So, yeah.
Yay! So fun.
Oh, and almost forgot, but if you're enjoying the podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you could follow us, subscribe, like us on Instagram, subscribe here, and share it as well. That would mean a lot.
Yeah, totally. And it's hard to know like how, I mean, we'd love as many warriors to get to hear it as possible. As if you are enjoying the podcast and know of a good place to share it, please do.
Yeah, spread the word. No, we'd love it to help as many people as possible. But yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day, everyone, and thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.